know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. What's going on, Sky Squad? What we got going on today? What kind of mess y'all got going on today? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. As you guys can see, your comments are on the screen. So listen, don't say nothing crazy, okay? Or I will eject you faster than Katie could throw Gretchen under the bus last night on the Real Housewives of Orange County. I don't know if y'all guys happen to watch that show or not. We're not gonna really get too much into that today because I gotta find out if y'all watching or not. Okay. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday to all my people in the place. Okay. Yeah, please don't say nothing crazy in the chat. Okay, please don't say nothing in the chat. I had meant to leave you a longer message because I had more to say, but I was driving. Drop kicked her. Okay. Woo! Trinidad is in the building, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, side note, y'all. Listen, I know that some of y'all I have gotten a couple of emails from a couple of people asking if the trip to Cape Town is still on. It is, in fact, still on. It was one of those trips where I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it, y'all, because I got so much going on. But I talked to the provider and they're still interested in still keeping this train going. So if you are interested in going to Cape Town, if you've never been, now is definitely the time. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they are building, I think what I'm learning is like the first like transcontinental railway through the southernmost part of Africa, I think. And business will really start booming. It's already booming, right? But they're really hoping to attract business from the worldwide community. So it's really about to pop in Africa if you haven't already been. So we're going to be going there twice this fall. Once we're going to be going to Zanzibar at the end of September. It's a little bit of a process to get your visa if you haven't already done that already. I've already sent out the emails the text message to the small group that we have going with us. But definitely look into it. Click the link in the description of this video because it's going to be lit in Cape Town. Born and raised in Cape Town, now living in Toronto. I feel like I have a friend that either was in Toronto or has to go to Toronto. Oh, he was just in Toronto. Yep. Listen, the way Gina got up into Tamara was like, finally somebody's done it. And again, I say this all the time about Tamara is that she would do better if she were just to go ahead and lean into the villain role that she tries to play. And if she leaned into it a bit more like maybe Teresa Giudice, whatever her name is, then I feel like she would be better off versus what she does is she will like get low. I mean, she will go all the way down low to the flow with somebody, even when they're in their darkest moments, which is why she's finding that no one really has any tolerance for her while she's in her dark moments, because she's never let anybody else rest during those moments, and she's taking full advantage of their situations. But she wants all the sympathy in the world, and she will utilize whatever is going on in her life as the reason for which she is acting out. And I think it's just getting a little old. I would rather her just say, listen, I'm the bad guy, I'm the villain, and that's it. Like, I mean, say what you want about me, I don't care. Okay. And keep it pushing, because at the end of the day, nobody's falling for the antics that she continues to try to portray. Like, I mean, listen, she has co-opted Teddy's real life crisis and turned it into her entire like existence on OC. Like, Teddy's things that she has going on, her real life issues, are breaking Tamara down so much that you would think these things were happening to Tamara. And I just feel like it feels manipulative to use that as the reason for you causing chaos with everyone else, and you deciding that you wanted to quit and run away from the show. I mean, I can count the amount of times that you've run. Every time you get caught up in something, you run. Anytime the girls finally get tired of you and your antics, you run. I've seen you run and hide in the bushes. Okay. You ran from when Lizzie was with the girls back in season 9. You told us we would never see you again, but here we are seeing you all over again. Again, I like Tamara. To be clear, I like Tamara, but I just feel like all of these antics, telling us that she was on the spectrum when that was like a bit of an overreach. It's just like, girl, slow it down. Stop it. If you can't take the heat that from the fire that you created, then get out of the kitchen. If you don't want to cook, stay out the kitchen. Okay? And stop trying to play this role, because then you'll go back on social media and talk about, oh, well, you make the show. Like, girl, like what do you want from the people? Do you want their sympathy, or what do you want? Like, because you can't play villain and victim at the same time, because we don't see it for you like that. I mean, and that's just it. We don't see it for you like that. And the fact of the matter is, on OC, since I'm here, while I'm waiting for the folks to get in the room, since I'm here with OC, um, uh, the breakdown in the trifecta that is Jennifer and Gretchen and Katie is completely diabolical work. I don't, for not 1 second, believe anybody. Okay. What I do believe is this: a part of me does believe that Gretchen and Slade told Katie and Jennifer that she felt like she was the roofied back in 2009. The fact that we're talking about a storyline from back in 2009 is crazy work to me. But here we are. I think that Katie and her husband heard what they heard. Katie, it sounds like, probably had a conversation with Kiki Monique from the Talk of Shame. I think that Jennifer is acting clueless because she would rather be on Gretchen's side, because Katie is on a downward spiral to Hades with the rest of the ladies. And now they are all turning on each other. Specifically, Katie is now turning on Gretchen because she doesn't want to be the one going down in flames for something else that actually happened. So she needs to go ahead and fess up. Yes, Gretchen said it. Yes, I had a conversation with Kiki Monique. Yes, I spilled the beans. And Gretchen needs to either own it, like, yes, I felt like I was roofied. Yes, I felt like the behavior was inappropriate. Yes, I said it to Katie, but no, she should not have said it to Kiki Monique. Period. Okay? Because what they're doing now, and I don't bit more believe anything that come out of Jennifer's mouth no more. Because Jennifer, to me, she can't ever remember who said what and when and where, and she was sitting right there. She can't remember if Alexis was at a dinner or not. She can't remember whether or not Gretchen said this or not. So you don't got no credibility with me either. But the fact of the matter is, even though this does vindicate Tamara, she's still the problem. Two things can be true. All y'all can be telling fibs, and Tamara can still be a problem. And we'll see. We'll see out there what those lie detector tests really mean. Because I don't know if I trust Emily either. Okay. And I doggone sure don't trust that husband of hers. Now, when I say I don't trust him, I mean I don't really care for him that much. Okay. And I don't really say that I don't care much for his character on TV. Let me say that because I don't know that man from Adam. And I'm not invested in it that much to give him my feelings. But I don't care for the way he speaks to her. Okay. Clearly the woman is emotional and breaking down about whatever's going on with the child, but it's clear as day that the man says that he clearly treats his sons differently than his daughters. And granted, I'm sure you have to parent each child differently, but I think that there's a level of sensitivity that he knows that he gives to the daughters that he does not give to the sons, and he's well aware of it, and he's okay with it. Emily, if you are not okay with it, then that's the conversation that you need to have with him. But that man is not anymore. I mean, it's funny because he's very sensitive to his daughters, but he's completely insensitive to his wife. So clearly it ain't all women. I agree. She's doing too much. Okay. She's riding high from the support that she got last season. She ain't got very much to talk about this season. So she's utilizing this whole situation with Katie recording her to make a thing out of a partial thing. Granted, yes, you could be upset that the girl is recording you having a meltdown, but Shannon, when are you not having a meltdown? Okay, you're already being recorded on the television. So girl, what difference does it make if she was recording you now? You having a meltdown. Now, granted, Katie, yes, Katie was wrong for doing that. There's no need because we have plenty of times we've seen Shannon act a fool on TV and crumble over the slightest little slight, right? The woman cries at the drop of a hat, right? So it's not too far fetched for anybody to believe that yes, Shannon's having another meltdown. So we all gotta wait, right? So Katie just keep making the wrong moves, and these girls keep letting her have it. And I just feel like, girl, just this world is not for you. Okay, I don't know what you was doing before this, but you and your unhinged husband, who I do like, okay, he is the perfect type of unhinged. Y'all need to probably go on and sit the next season out because at this point in time, it's just looking crazy for you. Okay, that was OC. Lots going on there. And why in the world does Heather coddle Tamara ever so? Like the way that she will go off and take down anybody else around her that dares to come after her. It's almost like, and I get it, you scared of Tamara because Tamara goes low. But I mean, listen, that lady can't do nothing more to you than what y'all let her do. And here's the thing, not that I want to give anybody any ammunition because I don't think that this is the way to go, but there is literally Tamara has an Achilles heel that nobody ever references. Everybody is always like they will tiptoe around Tamara, but the fact of the matter is nobody really addresses Tamara and her relationship with her daughter. And I just kind of feel like they all spare her that, and she does not spare them anything. So anything that they are going through is up for grabs for Tamara, but they all walk on eggshells around what they and that's a little bit of a difference, right? Because I mean, there's a such thing as class, and I feel like when Tamara's making television, she kind of forgets that she also has a library that people can pick up a book from and read her, but they don't do it. Okay. So, I mean, I just never understand why they spare her that when it's like she don't spare y'all. And that's why I couldn't do reality TV anyway, because I wouldn't be able to do it either. But I'm just saying, you know, I bet you Kelly Dodd would do it. But she come with her own set of problems. So we don't want to see that either. All right. Y'all know what an earring back smell like? Does anybody know? Y'all ever smelt the back of an earring if you had it in too long? Don't act like you don't. Listen, before I got my ears pierced, I never knew what an earring back smelled like. And it didn't take very long for me to figure it out. It did not take very long for me to figure it out. It's not a good smell, y'all. That thing smell ripe. Smells ripe. Smells good old nice and ripe. Two things I want to address real quick before we dive fully into the Yandy and Rashida of it all. Bruce, thank you for the super chat. Says you see Katie's ex-publicist exposing her. I did see a post with Amir talking about it, but I didn't. It was one of those situations where I was up late and I had my noise machine on because I like to listen to the brown noise. It's really an airplane noise because I like to feel like I'm on an airplane at all times. So I go to sleep to the airplane noise. And so when I opened up the Instagram, have you ever opened up Instagram and looked at something and couldn't hear it, but you was like, I wonder what they saying. I'm gonna save it for later, and then you don't go back to it. That's kind of where I was with it. So I did not see what he had to say about her. In terms of the Zanny and the Alki, yeah, man, it's interesting because let Shannon have done it, and she would have called that woman all types of addicts. Okay. Shannon would have been every type of addict in the book. You know, Tamara probably would have tried to have that lady committed. They would have tried to send that lady to the rehab. But, you know, Tamara's got an excuse. So Teddy. I've never seen it such that Teddy, a cast member who really, not a lot of people really wanted her on Beverly Hills, let's be real honest, has become such a factor on both Beverly Hills and Orange County. And to a certain degree, I'm kind of like, why don't y'all just bring Teddy on the show? Because I mean, that's clearly the route that y'all really want to go. I mean, I don't like Teddy on reality TV. I think she's better at the podcast hosting. And I don't definitely want her to be going through what she had to go through because nobody should have to go through all that, right? And we don't want her to. We want her to be well, right? That's the bottom line. But still, it's like, yo, I never seen so much talk about a woman who ain't even on the show, who was only on a show for 2 years. Like what? Okay, so back to earring backs. So this comes after the week's episode where we hear Rasheeda talk about how Yandy is allegedly running around smelling like BBL smell, okay, and funky breath. Now, it's funny that Rasheeda would say that because I would assume that quite a few of her castmates might have had some BBLs. Especially considering that you was at a show with Spice, who has readily admitted to having like surgical procedures. So that's very interesting to me that she would choose that type of insult, especially when she's surrounded by people who have maybe perhaps dibbled and dabbled in a BBL or two, you know, or 3 or 4 or however many they like, you know. So that's fascinating. But you know, Yandy, who typically doesn't seem to clap back on these types of things, has done a little bit of a clap back off her own, sort of, kind of, on her IG story in the repost of somebody who is doing her hair. Now I'm just trying to say, this is an interesting choice for a reshare to say, somebody go tell Rasheeda she's been smelling like earring back. You got low, sis. We smelt it, Buki. Now I don't know if that person, if the person who was doing her hair said this, or if Yandy said it or if the person posted it with that on there and Yandy reposted it, or if Yandy reposted the video and then put the caption there. I don't really know, but regardless, it's on Yandy's page. So if it's on Yandy's page, in my opinion, um, Yandy is saying it. That's how I see it, right? If you especially when you got something that pointed, and again, it's fascinating to me because Yandy doesn't really get that low into the murk and the mire. So let me talk to you guys about something that I find interesting. Do you all remember when Kirk and Rashida did the interview with Carlos King? And there was some talk about Kirk and Rashida and their contract maybe coming up to an end or something like that. Do y'all remember that? Like if somebody in the chat, because I know y'all be on it too. Tell me if you remember what I'm saying, because if you do, I have this is all leading me down a road, and I want to know what you guys think about it. So somebody comment and let me know if you remember what I'm talking about. And I may have to go back and rewatch the Carlos King interview. Bel Air says do. Alindria says, yep, I remember that. Okay. So it's interesting to me that when you look at a preview for next week or either for the rest of the season, there is a sit down that does occur between Yandy and Rashida. And in the clip, you hear Rashida say something like, if you keep playing with me, it won't be no show for you to do, or something to that effect. Okay. So my wonder is all of this beef that Rashida and Kirk really have for Mendices and Yandy really over the either seniority type contract with the two maybe highest paid couples, or the two type of OG couples on the show, where maybe Yandy and Mendices would like to have that spot, and Kirk and Rashida are like, no, you're not gonna have that spot. We want to be the lead couple. We ain't going nowhere. So now you got the two OG couples fighting for this top spot, or you got the two OG couples wanting to keep their top spots by battling out with each other. Is that what's happening here? I mean, because this is how it's reading, right? They struggling for storylines, so they using elementary school tactics. So that brings me back to earring backs and BBL smells, because I just kind of feel like the insults are so juvenile, right? And with Yandy next week convincing Jasmine to say yay or nay, we all a happy family. We all kumbaya sister wives vacationing together in the south of France in Saint Tropez, doing the sister wife thing with the main guy as the husband, and mama's okay with it. So mama's hanging out with the young with the former mistress. I mean, it's just something about it. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like watching Rashida hurl these types of threats at Yandy, in my opinion, I'm like, Yandy and Mona go back like babies and pacifiers. Am I not correct? So how you gonna tell Yandy? Because at the end of the day, even when it came down to Chrissy got gone and Yandy stuck around on that show. I mean, is it just me? Because this is what I'm thinking it really is about. And I really, as I look at these little insults they throwing back and forth at each other, I'm something is about is like, what is this really about? Can we really break this thing down? Because I feel like this is about something else at this point. And I feel like Kirk and Rasheeda, in my opinion, are fighting for their lives with this whole situation. So I don't know. I mean, I might be playing Inspector Gadget right now, but that's what I'm feeling in my spirituals. So, mm, mm, we watching y'all. We are watching y'all. This is why they need a reunion. This is probably one of the first times in a long time where I feel like they need a reunion. Okay. Because I need to see this sit down with Yandy and Rashida and how this plays out. And I think that's going to really tell us, if we read between the lines, what is really going on. On grr. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay. Miami is so chaotic, y'all. And I ain't talking about chaotic from Love and Hip Hop, who is, of course, no longer with us on that show. Um, this was a wild episode to me because there were so many wild things that were happening in the episode. Um, First of all, I mean, I want to. I mean, we've got it. The highlight of this is Adriana calling Kiki Ratched, which is, we're gonna get to it but we got to tell the story first, right? The episode starts off with Lisa. All the girls are at dinner, and Lisa is just a little bit too much of a punk for me. I hate to say it, and I'm gonna come to this in a second. Lisa's a little bit too much of a punk for me because the way they be talking to her and the way they be treating her on this show, she's a little bit of a punk and she's a little bit of a drama queen. Okay. And I think that what the ladies are referring to her, they really are telling her she's being a drama queen. However, .org, if the lady is getting notary requests, okay, that tells her she needs to act within an hour, I don't know whether or not those are intimidation tactics from her ex or not. What I do know is that she probably had best be able to answer those questions. So Larsa saying to Lisa that, oh my God, you are making this entire dinner about you and your divorce problems. Like, oh, you're ruining the vibe. Oh, I want no more parts of you. If I were Lisa, I would have been like, well, girl, leave. Like, you're not the funnest girl in the crowd anyway. I can barely hear you half the time, to be quite honest with you, as you throw your insults in your whispered voice. So leave. Goodbye. Go. You and your giant bow can leave. No one's asking you to stay here. I don't care. You didn't have to announce your departure. This is not the airport. Just leave, babes. Go. I got to deal with the notary anyway. So unless you have something pressing to say to me, you can leave. And quite frankly, I don't care what Jody's texting you. Don't text him back. Block him if you really are that upset about it. Clearly, you don't want to text him, block him. All right. I'll deal with him after I deal with the notary and notarizations of things. But right now, you are not my issue. Period. Okay. Period. But Lisa falls apart, crying. Oh, girl, why you don't want nothing to do with me, girl? Let her be. I please, please. You don't want nothing to do. You don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself, as Fantasia would say. Go. Okay, you and Stephanie, Stacy, or whoever you is with all your money. Go. Go on with her. Gertie's the only one. Gertie and Adriana are the only ones that's down to help Lisa. I mean, I feel like they the three outcasts, so they band themselves together. And I say outcasts because I feel like you got the core Mean Girl group and everybody trying to acquiesce to what they want to do and whatnot. But I just feel like, and poor Adriana just sitting there self crying. I'm like, this ain't the same Adriana from seasons 3 and 4. That Adriana from season 3, the one that smacked Joanna Krupa in the mouth, that Adriana needs to come back. Okay. That Adriana was feisty and she ain't take no mess from nobody. She definitely wouldn't have been sitting at that table crying and whining and talking about how bad they treating Lisa. Girl, no, flip that table over. Okay. Really embarrass them and have Stephanie crying oddly. The same Stephanie is going to cry the next night is the same Stephanie that told Julia that she got a big spoon and she'll stir the pot, calling Julia all types of bees. But you can't tell whether or not this group who has argued at every other dinner is going to behave themselves or not. Girl, do you know where you at? Shut up. Anyway, so yeah, that pissed me off. The next day, the next thing that pisses me off, and again, Lisa, I need you to grow a backbone with these women. Why is Marisol, who is a friend of the show, gonna tell you that they don't want you to have your phone on the plane and when they go to the next location? No, girl, I'm not giving nobody my phone. And if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. You can free yourself too. Okay, because I don't need you either. I have got to deal with I got bigger fish to fry than you, friend of. Okay, you don't run nothing around here. Actually, if you watch this show from the beginning, you will know that Marisol has never run anything. What they need to do is they need to bring back Leah Black, okay? Because Leah Black had Marisol running laps, okay? Running from every single event, running like the road runner. So to see Marisol thinking that she's going to tell somebody that they cannot have their phone, somebody that's got kids, that they're not going to have their phone while they're away. Girl, you don't even like, we're not the same. Okay. I am a parental. I got to take care of my peoples. Okay. So unless you're going to take care of them, you're not going to tell me when I can and cannot have my phone. And neither are you, Farm Julia. You will not tell me that I cannot have my phone. You got a whole wife and a whole farm and a village at your house. Of course, somebody is there to take care of your people, but me, I'm on my own. Okay. So no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I mean, I just kind of feel like no, we're not gonna do that. Um, mm-mm. No, you can't have the phone. Hold on, y'all. Hold that thought 1 second, y'all. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. Getting some work done to the house. Okay. So, here, y'all not gonna take this woman's phone and y'all not gonna continue to bully this woman as she's going through. And yes, the girl is dramatic AF, but yeah, we know she's dramatic. But you know, y'all can't at some point in time, y'all gonna go through something too. And at the end of the day, I just feel like they know that they can bully her like that because they know that she desperately wants to be in with this group. So they try to boss her around and tell her what they can do. And I just feel like you know, Marisol has thinks that she has so much power because she has the backing of Alexia. And if you know the history of this show, like it's just very ridiculous to me. But that is if you know the history of this show, okay? And that's what makes me so upset about it because I know the history of it, right? If you've watched this show from the very beginning, then you kind of really know these players from where they started from. So to see how they kind of maneuver now, it's like, girl, you wasn't doing all this back in the day. You wasn't doing this all this back in the day. You wasn't. You talking real big stuff now, but let Leah Black come back to this show and you will be quiet as a church mouse. All right? Quiet. Quite quiet. Okay. Now, with that being said, Gertie, Lisa, Adriana, and Kiki, they sit down with Lisa and girl, listen. Can you unfollow Marcus, please? And I get it. You know, for me, that part, like, I get why Larsa feels the way she feels, but I do also understand why Lisa had not done it. Lisa does not want to continue to be bossed around by Larsa. And Larsa, with her dominant personality, tramples all over Lisa. And Lisa is tired of it. So she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Just because you told me I'm to do it, I'm not going to do it. How about that? So it's really her working overtime to rebel against Larsa's commands, right? And I just kind of feel like, girl, the juice is not worth the squeeze on this one. Like, girl, just let him go. Like, unfollow the man. You probably still got his number. He probably still, y'all probably still texting him. But just unfollow the man, because Lord knows if Larsa's life is being lived out on Instagram, please unfollow the man there. Okay, you can follow him on TikTok. Okay, just get off of the gram with him. Okay, and let it go. Lakeisha says I wouldn't unfollow him out of spite, and I get it at this point because Larsa be thinking that she like, and I'm like, y'all remember Larsa from season one? She was quiet as a church mouse too, to be quite honest with you. So it's just funny to me how the times have changed, and the girls in charge were not the girls in charge back in the day. They were not. They weren't. The girls that were running the show back then were Leah Black, Mama Elsa, quiet as it's kept, Joanna Krupa, Adriana, and Lisa started to kind of like come into her own around season 4. But those were the girls that were running the show. Because Mama Elsa put the smack down on Larsa too. Read her down as well. Okay. So like, don't let this new age fool y'all. Okay. Now, so they finally convince her to do that, to unfollow him. She unfollows him, and it's like, praise the Lord. Okay. Praise God. Whew, that's done. But they pinky promised not to say nothing to Larsa about it. Okay. So anyway, the girls go to dinner, another dinner. And before Lisa arrives, because I think it was some type of confusion of whether or not she was actually going to come or not. But before she arrives, Adriana, right after Pinky promising that they wouldn't tell, spills the beans. And Larsa is still not pleased. Lady Larsa is still not pleased. And so at that point, when Lisa does arrive, everybody's a little annoyed with her because she is 2 hours late. Now, Lisa does have a problem with being late. She is very dramatic. Okay. And there's another issue that Lisa takes notes. Okay. Now, Lisa taking notes, I'm trying to determine whether or not I would be annoyed by that. But given that I'm being filmed for a reality TV show nonstop, I don't care if you take notes or not. To be quite honest with you, that just makes me think your memory shot. So go to take all the notes that you want, because if I said what I said and I meant it, I feel like the only people that are afraid of you taking notes are the people that saying stuff about you that don't want you to remember what they're saying about you, so they can use it against you later when they want to act like they didn't remember saying it. So no, I don't have a problem with you because I understand the scenario now, right? Lisa, she may not be as quick as the rest of these girls, right? She may not be as quick as the rest of the girls, but I do feel like Okay, if you want to take notes on your phone, girl, that's extra work for you. You go right ahead. I don't care. Okay. Actually take the notes so you can remember what I said if I said something crazy to you. Okay. I want you to remember because if I said it, trust and believe if I say it to you, I meant it at the time. Now I might not mean it tomorrow, but I mean it today. So yeah, you can take notes. But that does not mean I feel the same way tomorrow as I did today. You might have made me mad. That's my defense. Meanwhile, what would Keisha Cole say? I changed my mind. So there's that. Kiki then is like, Adriana told the girls that you unfollowed Marcus after we said that we would not tell. Okay. Now, was Adriana out of pocket for that? Yes. Was she, did she have any ill intent with that? No. But Kiki is correct. Now, might Kiki have been being messy about that? Probably. But Lisa probably needed to know. Okay. So then Adriana turns around and calls Kiki Ratched and tells her, girl, stop being ratchet. Oh, Adriana. Now, I want to bring up the files because this is what Adriana is now saying about what she said. Adriana is making it seem as though what she meant to say was miserable. Okay? Miserable. Oh, no. She meant wretched here. She meant wretched. Someplace else, I feel like she said that, I think in the after show, she said she meant miserable. Now, again, if you don't know about Adriana, she is very educated. She does cop to admitting that she shouldn't have said it. But here's the thing. It's kind of like one of those slips of the tongue. Like, and it comes across, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, it's like a microaggression. And I think that Kiki had every right to feel how she felt in that moment because ratchet was definitely not the word to use. Like, and Adriana is smart enough to know that. I think that there's a connotation that the word ratchet has, and sometimes people use it, especially with regards to the behavior of people of color. And that's just it. It is what it is. It is what it is. That I mean, and might she have meant it? Maybe not, but it was a slip of the tongue, and it did have a microaggressive tone to it, and that's just that. And so when Kiki tells her she's too old to be saying stuff like that, I felt Kiki in that moment, to be quite honest with you. I did not feel like it was ageism. I felt like it was, you should know better. Okay. But in my mind, from when I watched the after show, I did think Kiki said, no, I meant old. And I'm like, well, girl, what is old? Okay. I don't like the word old. I feel like you should say seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Old sounds like an insult. I feel like when somebody says old, it's like something is expired. You know what I mean? Like, the bread is old. Would that mean I can't eat the bread? You just done discarded a whole person. You done throw the whole person in the trash can calling them old. I don't like when people call. I have friends that call themselves old, and I'm like, don't say that about me. I don't care what you. I don't care how. I don't care what my birth certificate says. Don't you call me old. If I don't look old, then I'm not old. If I'm not acting old, I'm not old. But Adriana is apparently what, 59? So I don't know how old Kiki is. But anyway, was this ageism? Now let me think back. Let me think on it for a second. Was this ageism? I mean, when you consider it, Marisol and Alexia are both what, 58 or so, I think. Um Listen, the whole dinner was chaos. I'm just going to tell you now. The reason why I do like Miami, and I give the girls some grief or whatever like that, but I do like this show, even though I do feel like there are some microaggressions that do need to be addressed, right? Especially at the reunion. Hopefully, Andy will address them, but I don't really know that he knows how to do that. Because I think that there's a way you can address these types of things and have people talk about them. Because I think that that's the only way you get people to recognize that they're actually, because I don't know if some people always know that those are microaggressions. And you need to understand what those are so that you don't continue to do them. Otherwise, you will not only alienate the audience who's watching you every week, but now you come across a specific type of way. And you guys are old enough to know, okay? I'm going to use old in a different way. You're old enough to understand what we are saying when we say that, okay? For some reason, the attention was not on Stephanie enough. So she is crying and carrying on about how they are embarrassing her. She doesn't now know if she wants to take them on her private jet because they don't know how to act. And I'm like, girl, you've been in a screaming match with somebody at dinner, so you was beating your chest. I'm Alexia. So how is it that now all of a sudden it is too much for you? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. These ladies are screaming at the top of their lungs at a dinner. Guess what? This is Housewives. Okay. That's what happens in these things. And I just kind of feel like I agree with you. She uses that private jet as a weapon. And it's like, girl, for me at this point, put me in first class on the plane because I'm not trying to acquiesce to this little girl no more. Because, girl, how did you get this plane? What, did you buy it? I mean, let's get it popping, okay? If we want to really get it popping on this private plane, let's get it popping. Did you buy it with your money? Okay. But I am gonna lie to you, Adriana trying to leave. And Stephanie was like, I'm not leaving with you. Yo, I honestly feel like Stephanie wasn't getting enough attention. So I felt like she made it about herself. She started crying and she made a scene so she could leave. Adriana is now the victim in this situation because she has been shamed for her age. Oh, she's so old. Listen, here's the thing. When you look at photos of Adriana, she don't look that old. She don't carry herself like she old. So I just kind of feel like if somebody calls you old, and I get it, they are calling you expired and past your prime. But at the end of the day, it's like, but do I look it? Like you can call me old, but do I look old? That's the question. Do I look it in the face? So I would have been like, yeah, I mean, you calling me old, but you look like me. I mean, these are clapbacks. I'm just saying, like that you could say when somebody calls you old in general. Like, girl, you calling me old? We on the same show. Hey, girl, how you doing? Actually, we in the same position. Friend of. Um. So it was just chaos and ridiculousness the entire dinner. Um. At that point, Marisol, Alexia, Stephanie, and Larsa decide that they're going to go and have a conversation. Oh, and Julia, somebody reminded me of this. Julia then begins screaming about how this was crazy to me. And I also need to point out something about Kiki that I need to make a note of. Julia then turns and is like, Kiki is being like, she's doing too much. She's overreacting. And I'm like, girl, this coming from the lady who threw a glass of water at not one person, but landed on two people. Shut up. Then Kiki. Now, if in your Carlos King interview, you say that you have grown so much that you would leave a situation when someone's antagonizing you, but you are straight up arguing with Adriana, and Kiki, I mean, and Gertie actually has your back in that moment. I just kind of note the difference in the reactions, right? You Garrity didn't tell you you should leave, right? You stayed and argued your case because somebody pissed you off. So why couldn't the same grace be given to Gertie after she had a water dousing thing from Julia? If she wants to stay and defend herself, why is that a problem? Because you are now doing the same thing. So I just feel like there's a little bit of a double standard there. And I just feel like I want Kiki to kind of recognize that, you know? But following that, um, there's a conversation with Stephanie, Larsa, and Alexia and Marisol that I just didn't even sit well with Marisol, to be honest with you. And if it didn't sit well with Marisol, then you know it was bad. Where Stephanie is basically trying to utilize her private jet to isolate certain members of the cast for if they misbehave. And I'm like, you can't, like, what are you talking about, girl? You just got here. And how is it that now all of a sudden everybody can fit on a private jet when they couldn't before? Like, this make sense to me. Was it the extra luggage that was causing the problem with the private jet? Maybe it was that. Maybe it was all the luggage. You couldn't take all the luggage, right? So okay, cool. Maybe they're just taking some of their luggage. I really don't know what the situation is. All I know is it becomes a situation where you're trying to put people in, like, segregate them in some weird type of way, and you're doing this to please Larsa. I already know that because Larsa's telling you where to place people. Larsa's putting you in the trick bag, and you don't even realize it. And I agree with Marisol. Like, it's starting to feel uncomfortable. I don't like this. And I definitely 100% agree with her. Stephanie's using this private jet like it was stated earlier as a weapon, and I don't really care for that. You know, I love to see it. I love to see the riches and the wealth, but when you start using it in this type of way, it becomes a little bit of a turnoff to me. Because, girl, like, yeah, you got a lot of money, but you ain't old money. You if you know this quote, then you know this quote, okay? That episode with Destiny's Child and Farrah and that luggage, baby. You win. You win. You win the whole episode today. You win for this callback. If you know, you know, okay? If you know, you know. That's like, I'm done. I got nothing else for y'all today. I really got nothing else for y'all. That was the throwback of all throwbacks. I mean, whoo, you just sent me with that one. You shut me up. You can shut me up on my own live. Okay. Um yeah, you shut me up with that one. That you just okay. Ooh, that was a good one. That was a good one. So listen, y'all, if you love Miami as much as I did, make sure to chime down your comments down below. We ain't got to agree on anything, to be quite honest with you, but hopefully our love for the show keeps these types of shows on the air. And we talk about these shows because we love them, right? Because listen, it could be a point in time when we don't have nothing to watch. So, you know, support the shows, y'all. And sometimes that means us having commentary. We're not going to agree on everything, but you know, we love what we do. All right, so listen. Make sure you guys are following my YouTube channel, Go Digital with Richie. Make sure you guys, if you are, listen, if I know that the Cape Town trip is coming up very soon, it's the end of November, early December, but it is totally worthwhile. If you have never, ever been to Cape Town, we're going to do it my way. And let me tell you something. I know the itinerary. It is going to be amazing. Okay. Absolutely amazing. Not poor fare. Yes. It's like my favorite place, man. Outside of Switzerland, it is like literally my favorite place. My favorite place. If I could move tomorrow, I would. I would literally move tomorrow. I just love it there. Um yeah. Anything else that's going on? A couple of things. The books, the Wickedest Wives series, everything is in the link in the description of this video. Trips, link in the description. My monthly membership for people who want to learn about how to monetize and grow their content, their YouTube channels. That's in the link in the description as well. We got a lot of things going on. We're trying to grow in some different areas, and people who want to make some money, I want to be able to help them as well. So make sure you guys check the links in the description of this video. And with that being said, your boy needs to go eat some lunch because I haven't ate yet. And then later on, I'm going to go see our boy Kempire live here in DC. So I'm excited about that. So with that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.